Welcome to TimeBeat Breaking News Channel. Here are our breaking news today.
1. The legal battle over a permit to shoot beavers has begun in Scotland. 2. UK has urged Australia to raise its climate ambitions ahead of the G7 summit.
Scotland. A legal battle over a permit to shoot beavers has begun in Scotland. Wildlife conservationists are suing Scotland's Nature Conservation Agency for allowing farmers to kill wild beavers, claiming that the agency is failing to protect vulnerable species. Trees for Life, a rewilding advocacy group, has accused Nature Scot of failing to protect beavers, arguing that the animals should be humanely trapped and relocated to other parts of the country rather than being shot. On Thursday and Friday, a judge at Edinburgh's Court of Session will hear its allegations that Nature Scot, a government agency formerly known as Scottish Natural Heritage, violated the country's habitat regulations. The judicial review, which has been funded by donations totaling £60,000, will be a significant test case for rewilding activists, touching on deep disagreements with farmers and landowners over the release of birds of prey and proposals to repopulate the highlands with predatory species such as wildcats and lynx. Following the Scottish Government's designation of beavers as a protected species on May 1, 2019, Nature Scot issued dozens of licenses to cull those blamed by farmers in Tayside for destroying crops and prime agricultural land. By the end of 2019, 87 beavers had been shot under the agency's lethal control licenses. According to Trees for Life, many more licenses were granted last year. The National Farmers Union Scotland and Scottish Land and Estates, which represent landowners, have backed Nature Scot and paid for joint legal representation at the hearing, arguing that the right to control species that harm crops, livestock, and farmland must be protected.
The United Kingdom. UK has urged Australia to raise its climate ambitions ahead of the G7 summit. The top British envoy in Canberra has confirmed that the UK is encouraging Australia to increase its emission reduction target for the 2030s, indicating that nations' commitments to net zero emissions by 2050 are insufficient. Before the G7 meeting in Cornwall late next week, where climate is expected to be a major topic, the British High Commissioner, Vicky Treadle, said the UK was asking all countries to raise their interim emission targets to align with the Paris goal of limiting warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. She proposed that the best way to avoid such tariffs would be for all nations to have a high level of ambition, not just for net zero by 2050, but also for interim targets to be upgraded, as the UK had done. The comments come after Scott Morrison declared that Australia will make our path to net zero, but we will not let others determine it. The Prime Minister, who has so far resisted a formal commitment to net zero by 2050 and has given no indication of increasing the 2030 target, told a mining industry event on Wednesday that Australia would act in accordance with its national interest and focus on jobs. Morrison said Australia would take the Frank Sinatra approach to climate policy. "We're going to do it our way in Australia, the Australian way," he said. Australian ministers have expressed their opposition to carbon border tariffs, which are being considered by a number of major players, including the United Kingdom, the European Union, the United States, and Japan, in order to prevent carbon leakage or the movement of local production to countries with weaker climate policies.
Thank you for watching. We help you stay up to date all the news hourly. Please subscribe our channel to follow up the latest one.